All right. So, hello and welcome to the first day of the um, meet cycle for Manila in the Hibiscus cycle. So, we have a bunch of topics and we are meeting twice this week. All of the recordings are going to be updated to the OpenStack Manila YouTube channel. And yeah, that's pretty much our intro there. So, without further ado, I think we can start it with the first two topics. I heard yeah, uh, possibility of starting with the Weka driver. So let's start with that. So and then we can move on possibly to the foregoing access control, which is something we discussed briefly in the past couple of weekly meetings. So yeah, let's get started with that. I'm assuming I fellow Jitzer is Itamar, or sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. I'm trying to get it from the IRC. Am I spelling your name correctly? Hello. Oh, yeah, my bad. Right. So I think. Oh, sure. Nope, we can't hear you, fellow sir.
Maybe now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Oh,
now. Yes.
okay, cool. Thank you. So, first of all, it's Itai and nice to meet you all.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
Hi.
for hosting me in the last meetings that we had over ISA. I asked Asaf, who led the development of this of the Weka driver on the Weka behalf, to join this meeting today. Um, So I'm not sure about the way that we should discuss it now. So if you have specific questions that you want to cover when it comes to the work that we've done, or anything else about Weka, let me know how you want to have this done today.
Yeah, we try to use kind of a free format, I would say. So in most cases, we'll have the change authors walking us through the changes and talking us through maybe getting an intro to the audience to what's Weka and how you guys have worked on the driver, like maybe doing some explanation on the key points of the driver, how the mapping is working to the backend. So I think that would be helpful. Also, if you like to share some details about CI and stuff like that, that would also be helpful.
Mhm. Okay, Asaf, can you?
Yeah, would you like to do screen share, or would you like me to go through screen share for you?
Want to see if Asaf can do it from my team. Asaf?
Yes, it will help if you could ask specific questions or explain what needs to be clarified.
Yeah, perfect. So I think I can get started with one of the questions right there. Like let's pull up the driver. But I think my very first question would be, like about the driver itself. Like what are you introducing as part of this driver? What are the main changes that you are planning for it? Are there any limitations that you've identified for the Wakashare driver?
Okay, so I think the main limitation is for WCAFS, like we are proposing WCAFS and NFS support. And for WCAFS, um, the way we are doing it, since we are not supporting like permissions based on IPs and such. Uh, what we will do, and it was a patch I pushed last night, we will have isolation per project, meaning each um, Manila project um, will be a tenant on Weka side, and the isolation will be on project level. So users on the same project will be able to mount they will share the mounts, so there will be no isolation in project level, but use like clients of different projects will not be able to mount on the other project because they will be exposed only to the mount token of their project. So the isolation between users is in project level for WCAFS. For NFS, no problem. We support permissions on IP level, so it can be done very similar to, like the rule access is very similar to the API that Manila anyway supports. So I think this is like the main limitation we have.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good starting
So,
point. And,
hey, Carlos, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. So that I mean, if I understood the first part of what you're saying, Asaf, correctly, you're saying that you would not like to implement NFS access for Weka FS because there is a different kind of mapping that you would like to take, which is scope access control to projects, right?
Yeah, we support both. We introduced two mechanism to access a record file system from one of them would be POSIX mount, like the native Weka FS mount, and the other one would be NFS. So with the POSIX mounts, we will support what Asaf has just described. Integration between Weka capabilities to have mount tokens and to map those to projects in Manila, and with NFS, which is another way to access a Weka file system and even subdirectories with the Weka file system. We will allow having the IP-based restrictions. Have I forgot anything?
Yeah, no, this is correct. So we will support two protocols, WCAFS for POSIX and NFS. And for NFS, we will have the IP rule based.
Yeah, so I got that from the driver, and so my question was more about, so technically there are two different protocols being exposed. Pretty much like, I mean, there are many other drivers that can do two protocols. So it's the same kind of a model that you folks have, that you're exposing both the native WCAFS protocol as well as NFS. But that the access control is only limited to the NFS part is where, like, we started having a discussion in the Manila weekly meetings, checking if, what is the limitation here, and how we could expose that sort of a limitation. I am not sure if you're familiar with CEFFS, because I want to use that as an example. Are you folks aware of what CEF does and how that is works with Manila?
I did not get what file system you mentioned,
CEFFS.
and no, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
I'm familiar with Ceph, but not with the integration with Manila.
Okay. All right. So I can give you a short brief. Like, basically, the thing I'm thinking over there is that Ceph also does both native CephFS and NFS. It proxies NFS through NFS Ganesha. And it's the same kind of equivalence over there. For Ceph, for access control, we use, I mean, we allow access to Ceph users, and this stuff was invented because of Manila. It was exposed to OpenStack because of that. Um, and for NFS, it's through IP addresses and so on. The idea that you'll have access through Ceph users was baked in from the get go. So that's where I was thinking is if there is any way that you folks could expose the Veka FS project idea and the project tokens through through Manila, then you already have then you have the access control mapped out even for that. Right? Have you thought through that?
I I'm not. I don't sure I understand what you mean. Like what I will describe what you mean. I'm not sure if this is. I will sorry. I will describe what we did and let me know if it makes sense or aligned with what you are telling. Like what we did is that when like we will create how is it called, like access. Like the access CLI. I don't remember exactly how is it called. And when we create the access, then when you do the show and export metadata, there you see the token, and the token is visible to all clients in the project. Like this is what you did. I'm not sure if this is what you meant that is done in Ceph.
Come again. So basically, you're saying that when the share is created, you're
Yes.
going to get the token added as a metadata. Is that what you're saying?
Like you need to do the API. They don't remember the exact CLI that adds in Manila the access, and
Mhm.
once you do so, then you can get the mount token.
Ah, okay. That was not visible on the patch at least.
Right? Yeah. Well, this is what I said. I pushed it last night, like
Oh, I see. Okay.
because of your comments. I wanted to at least have some level of authentication, mitigate, or at least do what we can. And you are right, it was not on patch set 12, it is on the last one, patch set 13. So you can see there the isolation I described. In the comments, I wrote it.
All right. While I'm checking, could you like probably break that down? So for the WCAFS, so somebody creates a share, the user creates a share through Manila, and then they do access control. How exactly? Like, what detail would they provide, and what would the driver react like?
Yeah. So when they create the share, nothing happens. But when they create the access rule, then they will be able to get the mount token and use it for the mount.
And how is that mount token visible to the end user?
I think that if they do like a access rule show or something, they will see it in the metadata.
In the metadata, okay, just give me a sec because we already have a field for something. I'm not sure if it maps directly to the same thing. So, like I was saying about Ceph, it's a very similar flow where somebody says, "Hey, give me access to this CephX user." And what Ceph does, I mean, the Ceph driver does, is it goes creates that user identity and all that stuff, and it provides to Manila and through Manila an access token. And that access token in the API is called an access secret.
Yeah, yeah. I provided via access key. This is how it's called.
Oh yeah, access key, correct. Okay, perfect. So it's pretty much the same as what I'm describing for this FFS use case.
I'm now like I can send in the chat the exact. Like, give me 1 second. I guess I can grab the exact commands and everything. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, we can.
I thought I lost access. Oh, okay, then just give me 1 second. I can share exactly, but I think it is aligned with what you described for Ceph.
And while you're doing that, I think some of your earlier comments, you said that the NFS protocol has the third-party CI, but WCAFS, you're running some tests locally. Is that right? Or have you fixed that part as well?
You're asking about CI?
Correct.
Yes, so we run full CI. I posted on patch at 13. I posted also a link to the full CI run. It should include NFS as well.
Awesome. So both NFS and WCAFS are being tested on your CI.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I mean, I my biggest concerns were about the access control limitation, and I don't think I had a whole lot of other issues that I was trying to bring up in the thing. I think you were addressing them as we go.
Good. Like I checked now. So when you do a Manila access list share and you give the share name, you should see on the access key the mount password.
Perfect. And you're using user, or what are you using as far as the access type?
Um, what do you mean by access type? Like later you will use it to do the mount. Like you
No,
do.
I meant when a user goes OpenStack share access create, there is a field for access type. So it's
Ah,
either
you mean
IP
like
address or user.
you? Sorry, you're not talking about read, write, and such.
No, that's access level.
So again, what are the types?
Yeah, it's IP, user, cert, I think, and suffix.
I'm not sure. You mean when I do the Manila access rule create, right?
Correct. Yes.
Second, I'm checking. User, access type user. And for NFS, access type IP.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I think I'm not understanding the CI results completely, but I haven't taken a look at it fully. So I don't think I have any other concerns at the moment. Let me do another pass with the driver. Are you satisfied? I think you had a lot of questions around the deadlines and such, and Carlos clarified that at the beginning. Are you folks aware of what's going to happen next?
Um, yeah, I wanted to make sure that we can expect now to get the votes we need in order to make it to Hibiscus.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I think there's everything lining up perfectly for that. As I said, like in the past couple of weekly meetings, we followed this release schedule, right? And then when we look at this release schedule, we have the new driver deadline, which is the thing that we are best or That's this week, each week actually. New driver deadline means, like the drivers need to be proposed. We need to have the CI and some tests running. It doesn't mean it needs to merge by this week. We will have until the feature freeze week, which is from August 24th to 28th to get these merged. So yeah, that's pretty much our stance on that. So in the I think you'll get more reviews, yes, but I don't see any issues on at this point that would block us from proceeding for the feature proposal freeze and then the new driver deadline. And yeah, it's going to be a matter of getting the reviews we need in the next couple of weeks and having things merged basically. But we expect things are merged by this week, and usually there's an increased amount of reviews going on for the next couple of weeks because reviewers understand that there is more pressure around the feature freeze, and we are trying to get things in for the release. So yes, I think there's plenty of time. That's what I'm trying to say. And yes, I do think that we won't have any major issues with this change getting in, especially now that there is a different way to control access. Like the biggest discussion point for us was pretty much on trying to understand what could we do with regards to access controls when you have the WCAFS protocol, because like it's difficult, and it's difficult to ensure that only people that can mount it should be able to mount it. But that is addressed by the fact that you added the project key to that, so that helps controlling the access to the users and creating the access rules. So that was the biggest discussion point, which again, we could try to come up with a solution or something. But yeah, I think it's actually heading to a nice direction.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my
Okay, that's great.
Okay,
Great.
I would
Now,
love
I have
to.
one question. When you have the project level access, all the users in that project actually have the same access, or you can also
Yeah,
control the granularity of which
yes.
user gets what kind of access
Yeah, so
for the
all
shares.
users of the project will have same access. Like we create, I wanted to clarify it actually now. I was not accurate. So what will happen is that I think it will be on first share create. Sorry, access will create. We will create a Weka user, like the driver will create a Weka user, and then this Weka user password will be shown, and then in order to mount, any user will need to show this share. Then he will see the password. He will do like Weka user login, username and password, and password is actually the access key on the share, and then he can do the mount. So I was not accurate because it's not a mount token, it's a password, and with this password you generate actually the mount token. Like this is the correction, and yes, all clients in the project will be able to see this password. Like we have like one Weka user per project, like one client user, I mean. So the
Okay, got
server
it.
will have the admin user that has like permissions for everything, and users of the project will be able to see like their project level user.
And you are going to have one user per project, right?
Right.
Okay, got it.
So
Makes
what
sense.
happens when a user tries to create another rule?
I did not test it, but I think it should do nothing basically. Like
Okay.
I expected to see it already exists and ignore.
Hmm.
I actually, if I want to be even more accurate, there is like when you create a permission rule, like you can define read, write, and such. So it like from our point of view, it does not matter. Like what the only thing that happens when you when you do it, like when you create the access rule, is that the user, if not created, will be lazily created for you, and then you can use it for mount. Like The only thing here that controls the access is the fact that we allow you to that all that access requires a mount token. Like this is the, but it does not distinguish between read and write.
I have one question basically. Is there anything preventing you to create a new user and password for every time someone asks to have access to that given share?
Like we reuse the same user, so if it was created, it will not be recreated. Like like it's not the client side that creates the user, it's the server side.
Yeah, I understand. Yes, but is there a way that Manila could also request, like every time we do the access allow procedure, right? And then you're mentioning that it should be the first time someone creates it, like the user is created and, like that project is there. And then the project has its user and password, right?
Yes.
And then the user can use it to mount the share. My question goes into like kind of different direction, which is there a way that you can have Manila creating multiple users, for example, and the password, and making that specifically, like the access specific by the user, instead of having one key for the project? That way, things will become more granular. Like
Ah,
that.
yeah.
That would be my
Um, l- like make from Weka side, we can create multiple users. Um, like it's an enhancement. Need to see. Like it sounds like something we could implement. Like how do you imagine it? Like how will we control what users have what which access? Like Manila is some kind of groups or something that can allow us define who has access to what. Like we need to map somehow Manila users to Weka users. So now we just say you're part of the project, so you see the Weka user. What options do we have to map inside the project Manila users to Weka users?
Yeah, so that there comes my limitation a little bit on understanding how the mapping works in the Weka driver. But at the end, like my thing was going to, like trying to take us through the exercise or the direction of can this user and password be per file system. So for example, you have someone creating a share, and then like that share, on that share, you request access to it, so through Manila, right? And then Manila goes and asks the Weka driver to have um, a new access rule, which would mean a new user and password created for that share specifically, instead of like the whole project has one, and then the whole projects use the same key and the same user.
Mm-hmm. Ah, you mean so when you do it, the user and password will be limited to this client?
Yes.
Um, you find it better, like different, like from my point of view, when you have a shared file system, you want different users of the shared file system be able to share the data. Like what in with what you describe, different Manila users will not be able to see each other file systems. Like,
So yeah, that's a good point. So let's look at access with or something we have with NFS, for example, right, in Manila. So for NFS, you go ahead and you request a new file system to Manila, and then you go and you can like you have the share, you have the data that you want to share with people. That is it's a correct thing, like you create a share that you need to share that data, and people, lots of people need to be able to read and write, or just read that data that's there. But if we just focus on NFS, for example, NFS, you can go and create an access rule or multiple access rules, and like you can say, oh, I want to grant access to this specific subnet, or that spans, I don't know, 100 hosts or something like that, or I want to grant access to this share only to this specific IP because I know only one person is mounting, or only one guest is mounting it. And yeah, that's pretty much how granular can you get with NFS. But with the way that I was putting it, like it doesn't prevent more access to be granted to the share. Instead, you'd have one share, and it's one thing that you can access, and then every user that needed access to it would have their own access rule with their own user and their own password, so that they can use their own user and password to mount the share and read the data. That's pretty much the level of granularity that I would be looking at. And I think there's also the example that Gotham was sharing with Cefax clients earlier. With Suffix, like you want to create access, or you want to allow access someone to read or the data from the share, or write data to the share. You go and tell Ceph, look, I have this user called Carlos, and then this user needs access to this share, and then Ceph will grant that access to the Carlos user, and then I'll get my key, I'll get my own key, and write the data to the share. And like that, you can have that level of granularity, and then you could have another access rule for a Ceph, and then that way, if you want to purge the access for only one user, like let's say I should no longer be able to view the data from that. You should be able to just revoke my access if you want to share. You should be able to revoke Carlos access just because they should not be reading the data from the share anymore. So that's why the granularity would matter here, and that's pretty much why I'm trying to understand if there is a possibility for doing that, because when
Uh,
we have the access for the project with one key, that means all of the users, like from that project with that key would be able to access the share, and then it comes with a different view on security compared to what we have in Manila today. I'm not saying it's entirely a no or something like that. I'm just trying to help us, like understand if we have any limitations not allowing us to pursue a more granular approach for access control.
um, yeah, but I don't see reason why it should be a problem. Um, so so basically, uh, mm, okay, I can make this. I can make if you think it's better to do it this way, like per user access, and create a Weka user um, for each Manila share access create, can be done, like no problem. You think it is better?
Yeah, I would think so. I think Gotham has his hand up, and I would also like to ask for like the other contributors. They have a lot of experience as well, but yeah, in my opinion, it would be more in line with
Uh,
other things. So yeah, Gotham.
I don't hear you well. I don't know if it's problem on
Yeah,
me.
no, it might be Carlos. I
Oh,
think Carlos, you broke up
sorry. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay now.
a little bit, but maybe type for now. I can basically
Sure.
follow up with my question. Okay, so
So,
uh,
so you suggest to change it and do a Weka access create, do it per user, and for each user create a Weka user. This is what you're suggesting?
correct, yeah, and that gives you a flexibility of being as secure as you would want, right? As an operator would want, right? And this is us trying to map it to existing things. So if we are misunderstanding the limitations that Reka has or something like that, let us know because that I think is the gap in our understanding. But intuitively, I would expect any OpenStack user that wants to create a share, wants to create their own access, to be able to control their access at their level. To state that it's shared access across a specific project is not something that, I mean, I've not seen that use case so far, and maybe that's something that I wanted to actually pull in folks from Samsung, who were talking about the Becca FS driver at the last PTG as well, because they had an internal proof of concept that they had designed for Becca FS, and so they probably had some operational experience on how this is supposed to work and be used.
Okay. Like anyway, we are not limited. Like we can, I will check now in our side what is the maximum number of clients we can create, but for sure we can create many. Like I'm not sure that's how what many is. I'm now checking. But anyway, if you think this is the right design, I can make the change. It's not an issue.
Awesome. And I think we have uh, some folks from Samsung here, right? Inyong, maybe others too.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi. Uh, have you had a chance to look at the latest, I mean, patch sets from the Weka FS driver?
Uh, Actually, I saw the patchy uh, of long time ago. So after that, a lot of patchy added. So actually, I didn't see latest version.
Yeah, no problem. But it would be valuable, I guess, if you had some time to take a look and see whether it because you were trying to use this internally at Samsung. So I thought you probably have some ideas around what access control should look like. So basically, the whole discussion that we're currently having, maybe you can add a user's perspective to it that we can't.
Okay, I will look at it, and I already comment. I already left to comment about uh, access level. We used uh, user, yeah, maybe project level, and we use some shares like a share server because Weka has some similar concept about like a organization. We mapping to share server, and Weka has some access level. I think 그, access level 2 organization has. Yeah, I'm sorry what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying, but
No,
I
no, I
will
think
look
I
at
get
it.
it. I remember you folks talking about this, and I think I saw your comment on the initial patches.
Okay.
I think what the Weka maintainers are planning to do is introduce DHCL as false first, and then I mean improve on that. Right, from that was the response that they gave you, that they would consider that as a future iteration. Right, and Asaf, do you remember those comments?
You
Uh,
repeat, please?
I think I'll have to link you. I think Inyong had commented a long time ago on your patch about adding share server support.
Saf, are you familiar with this? No.
I remember something vaguely, not accurately. Like if you can share a link, it will help. Um, by the way, like another idea I have, let me know if it makes sense. Maybe we can make it like configurable, meaning we can have like when you set up the Manila, like in the Manila configuration, we can tell whether we want per user or per project authentication for WCAFS. Make sense?
Uh, I don't think so. And the reason I think that is because if you did want a per project thing, it's totally possible right now, right? I mean, technically, you would just create one, what is that, one access rule on a given share, and then stop. Nothing stopping you from, just having one access rule per share. And the reason I'm also saying this is because I've seen this happen in practice. So with CEFFS, it's the same exact model that you folks are dealing with. And so when you have a user, you go create access rules for that particular user on that particular share, and you will get the user's access key, and that access key is visible to everybody else that's possibly going to see that share. So there's really no need for more users to be added to the same share. But Manila also has the possibility to hide those access keys. So maybe there is a use case now where people will use those kind of mechanisms to now provide per user access keys on each of the shares. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't. If everybody is able to see the access key, they don't need to create more users. But if they can hide the access keys, they will probably end up using multiple users, and each user controls their own access. So there's that flexibility. That's what I'm going for.
Okay, so you are just giving another argument why we should have a WECA user per share, right?
Uh, no, why you could have why you should allow multiple users. That's what my argument is. Like, you should let the users make the call if they would like a single access per share or multiple access, and they'll make the call by just not adding any more access rules. There's no need for any configuration or something.
I I'm not sure I follow. So a user creates the share, then he can create a access rule. Like each access rule he creates will allow access to one user, and he can create multiple access rule which will allow access to multiple users or just to some. Like this is what you are suggesting?
Let me walk back a little bit, right? So imagine you're using an OpenStack project on a cloud, and
Yes.
and you have multiple users that are all part of that project. So you're on,
Yes.
and so all of these users can see the share that is
Okay.
created by any user. So any user can create a share, and all of them get to see that share, and they can then control access individually. That's what I'm hoping for. But right now, what the design is that you would any user that sees the share maybe creates the access rule, and that's it. No, there's no need for any further access, because you already have one access key created. Correct? That is my understanding of the current design.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. So my point is, don't limit it like that. Let multiple users have multiple access rules on the same share. And what that'll do is it'll allow you to have a granularity uh, at the user level. If people don't need it, they don't use it. But if they do need it, it solves some other use cases. And I can give you the use cases in a multi-tenant cloud. You would want users to actually be separate, and their access to be separate. And in that case, I mean, there are no things you can tie on top of it. You can basically, just like Carlos was saying, allow and revoke on demand. You can do stuff like, some users have read-only access, some users have read access, and everybody else has nothing. Right? There's no access. That's the default. So things like that, all of those things are totally possible. And you could also set up stuff like, I mean, auditing, right? Like, so technically you have a user connecting to your shared file system with a key. You now know that they have connected, you know what they're doing, etc. You know what amount of traffic they're seeing, etc. These are things that audit tools already do with other shared file systems. But imagine a situation where all of this doesn't exist. You don't all of these use cases will not be possible. That's what I mean. So there's flexibility baked into the system to actually give you all of these different uses.
Okay, so practically, what do we need to add? Meaning, we just like from our side, we need that when we create a rule for a share, it should it will stay a user type, right? Um, and then we will create a user based on the user you provide. Um, and let's like I don't see how we can like I mean from Weka side I'm not sure if we have API to distinguish between read and write, so I'm not sure we have this granularity level. Um, and then if you want to allow access to another user, you will create another share rule. Um, but I'm not sure this is what you meant in your description.
Yeah, pretty much. Can you explain what you mean by doesn't have the granularity to do read write and read
Yeah,
only?
so what I did now is that, like, okay, in general, how does what we do in our side, when you create a share, what happens is that we create a file system on our side, file system per share. Okay, and then when we create a user for this share, um, this when you log in with this user, you can create a token that will allow you to access this file system, and or basically to mount this file system. Now I'm not sure how I can on our side when you have the token. I'm not sure. You know what? Maybe I can distinguish. Maybe I can create a token for read and token. I I need to check. Like, I'm not sure if the API that I have supports, like in Weka, I mean, supports creating different tokens, like support passing to the token creation, read or write flags. I need to check. But this is what you would like to have, right? Like, you want to have it per user, and you would like also to have the access level.
Correct.
Okay, like, let's say as follows. I will have a follow-up patch set. I hope I will have there everything you described. And anyway, I will read the link you provided and make sure that I understand what described, and that we have answer to what written there. So bottom line, I will have a follow-up patch set, and then let's talk.
Yeah, that makes sense. All
Now,
right. This actually, go ahead.
like, how fast should I be? I mean, like, assuming we want to enter to the next release, like, I need to
Yeah,
do the next patch set tomorrow, or like
you're fine. I mean, so technically, don't. I think you're being nervous that this driver will not be this thing. In my view, I think you're fine because I think you've had CI running and you've been responsive to comments, etc. So I have no reason to believe that this driver won't release, because I don't think the issues that we are talking about are major. At the beginning of this talk, I thought this will be a major issue because of the fact that your previous patch sets, you had no way to do access control with WCAFS. But you've already fixed that part. Now we're discussing like, how that should map to exactly what level of flexibility that should have. So that's the bottom line. So I guess definitely take your time to rewrite the code or whatever. And we should probably have the review iterations. The real deadline to get this stuff merged is now M3. I don't know if Carlos,
Yeah.
your mic might work, but go ahead and correct me.
Yeah, no, that's correct. August 24th to 28th. So August 27 actually is the Thursday that we would like to get things in. So yeah, a month from now, that's when things have to merge. But yeah, it's important that we have enough time to also review the changes. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I plan to have the patch this week. Okay, so I think we are good.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Perfect. I think. Sorry, is there a lot of noise on my end?
No, you're good. It's we can hear some background noise, but yeah, it's you're audible, so don't worry.
Yeah, sorry. It was just telling me that there was a lot of background noise, but and Jitsi's noise cancellation is not the most effective thing.
Oh yeah, good. You're audible, but yeah, we can hear some things. Yes.
Okay. I think the other discussion that I wanted to have was about the access rule, um, you know, optionality itself, and I think I'm going to temper my expectations a little bit because it looks like, I mean, one of the two drivers that had this issue is fixing it. So I'm assuming, I mean, we can take it to the thread to the other driver, which is DD and Luster, and ask those questions, I suppose. And because I don't want to design something um, uh, based on like short-term limitations. This is kind of what we discussed in the last PTG. That even I think an HP driver was in the pipeline, and those limitations were meant to be extremely short term. Like a new release of the storage system was going to cover access control and so on. Does that make sense? Am I thinking through this like what everybody else?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
So yeah, I guess we can take some notes on that particular topic and then like punt it based on what we hear back from the DD and Luster folks.
Yes. All right. I think that takes us to, I don't know, it's almost at the top of the hour. We had 1 hour scheduled for today. We do have 3 hours scheduled for Thursday, though. So I think we can continue on the other topics. And I agree with Gotham. Maybe, yeah, it's okay to follow up on the limitations and, like the updates for each one of the drivers separately, like the Gotham was mentioning, like reaching out to the TT and Luster folks and understanding how can we do this whole access granularity thing, as well as like trying to check that with HP as well, if there is something that we need to do about that. So I agree with that. If I understand that correctly, that's the idea, right, Gotham?
Yeah. So if it remains to be a concern with only one driver, I didn't want to think through a bigger design for that.
Yes.
That was the conclusion from my end. So I mean, maybe we'll articulate it back into the DDN Luster patch and see what their plans are. And if they're able to, if they think that they can come over to the mid-cycle discussion on Thursday, um, we can talk through those parts.
Yep.
Bit more comfortable with seeing the changes that WCAFS is making.
Agreed. Yes. And yeah, thank you for both Itai and Asaf for practically working on that, and yeah, already having the updated patch and going for the project based access. We agreed, yeah, that maybe we should yeah, look at the granularity of things, and you agreed to look at it as well. So thank you very much. It's been nice, great response from you, and also thanks for putting this CI stuff together. It's really helpful.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you.
Great meeting with you all.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so
Mm.
I think we're at the top of the hour. We did manage to go through the topic, one topic we had today, but we have 3 hours of discussion scheduled for our Thursday as well. Thursday we are starting 2 hours earlier than we started today. Yeah, so I think it's also some good time for us to have these discussions and continue with the mid cycle. So, all that said, I think we can. Oh, Girish, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question for Gautam. So I think Kiran, I think he might have started working on some generic driver implementation for the share server replica. So Kiran, you want to ask the question actually, which generic driver we need to pick up for the implementation? I think last time we had discussion with Gautam, he was telling some container-based driver something. So I did not get exact that means. Point actually. And if Gautam can elaborate more on that, actually, I think it's help to Kiran to work on that part.
Yeah, so if folks have some extra time and can go through this, and I don't know, maybe quickly, or if we could like this to the Thursday as well, that should be another, yeah, uh, approach. But yes, if you guys are okay with time, I don't want to hold everyone on the meeting after the scheduled time. Sorry for that.
Uh, I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are, Girish. Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
Can you hear me too?
yeah. Little bit noise I'm hearing.
1 second.
Is Gautam saying something?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm. He's not saying.
Okay, then maybe he can add some information, whatever he has in mind on the Etherpad.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good
Uh,
plan. Or yeah, we can continue this discussion on Thursday too, if you're okay. I see Gautam unmuted. Great.
Hey, if you folks want to hang out for another 5 minutes, I'll probably be. I mean, I'm okay with staying on this call for just talking through that stuff. I don't think we need everybody. I think you have questions around what kind of generic implementation we're looking at, right?
yeah, Gautam.
Yeah, basically, like, do we have a shared replication in the generic driver, like the container-based driver?
Oh, I see. No, we don't have share replication in the containers driver. We have it in the ZFS on Linux driver. But my thought was, I mean, do you really need replication to think through share server replication? I mean, do you really need data replication? Could you actually do multi-attach kind of a thing? And I mean, not really multi-attach, but you're basically saying you're going to have your exports come out of two different share servers, and you'll be able to work through the network transitions and so on. And that will still give you a good exercise of the API interactions that are happening with share server application. Right? You're creating a replica. You're setting up another backup share server. You're creating you're promoting the replica. that backup share server now starts exporting everything that the primary share server was doing.
So you're saying this to be implemented in container-based driver?
That was my suggestion to Girish a while ago. I'm not saying that's a requirement in the container driver. I'm saying maybe that's an easier driver to deal with when thinking about replication, given that
So
generic
what?
driver different limitations.
No, but in container-based driver, what I assume is basically we might be creating some virtual machine and having a container inside it. So by means of share server
No,
replication.
it's a Docker container. It's not a VM.
Okay, if it's a Docker container as a share server, then share server replication would be creating another Docker container, sharing the network and storage. Is this what you are saying?
Correct.
Okay, let me check.
Yeah.
So we have that code available in the dev stack. I mean, or we need to have that separate repo for that.
The container driver interfaces exist, but there is no
Okay.
replication as such. So what is being suggesting is something needs to try on. Not sure whether it
Hmm.
will work and how it will work, but let's see.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Gautam,
Uh,
for this session. You have
but I
any
haven't
other
worked on
question?
I haven't worked on container driver before, so don't expect things to go quickly.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to
think
fix up all the container driver issues, and there are a few patches. I would appreciate reviews to get those things in, so that you can, if you want to use that driver, things are at least in a better place. So right now, it's the jobs are perma failing because of some infrastructure issues. So, but I have fixes for all of those.
so.
I'll
Gautam,
drop
it is
some
not
patches.
a sorry. I think there is a delay. It is not a blocker for our current implementation of share servers.
Right, it should not be.
Oh well, we sorry, let me
Hmm.
jump in here a little bit. Um, Not a blocker. Yes, used to be. Yes, we used to keep up with the implementations of like every single feature that we introduced in Manila. We always said uh, that feature to the generic driver or to a generic driver. That's what I'm trying to say, or a first-party driver. Could it be container? Could it be CFS on Linux? Or any other first-party driver that we have implemented, so that we can have that as a reference implementation. So unfortunately, we kind of lost that for the past couple of cycles, considering like a lot of different constraints. So we did not look at features as like that as a blocker, but that doesn't mean we don't need to do. That's what I'm trying to go for here.
Yeah, right. Because like, if you have to consider container-based driver, whatever issues that Gautam has already uh, found needs to merge so that we have some working prototype under the container-based driver, which I can then use as a reference implementation of what he has suggested to create two containers, two Docker. I mean, basically two Docker containers, simply reflecting as a share server application. So
So I have one more question. I think Kiran, you are done with your doubts and questions, or
no, at this stage I don't have any questions. It's just that when I'll start using or doing the reference implementation and container questions will arise. Since I don't know anything about the container-based driver, there is no point asking question now.
yeah. So okay, thank you very much. I will move to my other question. So it's for Gautam and Carlos. So Gautam, you remember? I think we have passing that availability zone while share server replication creation, and based on availability zone, I think you have asked me to validate that availability zone should have the network attached to that share network. So I'm validating that as part of shared network attached to that. I think then I ask you that can I attach that shared network to destination share server replica? Means it's kind of destination share server. So I think you told, yeah, you have to, means we have to attach. So I'm attaching that as part of my code. But while implementing that part, I have noticed that one availability zone can have multiple shared network. So I thought of passing the shared network from the command line so that we will give the flexibility to end user. Uh, so he can pick up, means instead of we are adding all the subnet of that means available for that availability zone to the destination share server, he can add that particular network to that share server. Shall I go it with adding one extra option to passing the network information, or because I thought it's better to give the flexibility to end user to provide the network that which
Yeah.
network he can go and means means while share server replication.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this was one of the things that I had asked for at the very beginning of your
Yeah,
spec proposal. And my question there was, yeah, if you do this, how would you test it? But yeah, of course, you can test this with unit tests, etc. But I'm seeing that you're coming to the same stuff even with your implementation. I'm okay with this design.
okay, okay,
If there are significant changes to the spec, of course, please push it back to the spec, and
sure.
we can just merge that like it's a documentation update.
Yeah, sure, sure. Gautam, I will make these changes. Actually, even I think there is one more change that IP space related change, where we might need to create the VLAN, and I think VLAN creation we might be passing that segmentation ID, and that segmentation ID coming from the share server. So I think we need to create that VLAN on the destination where we need also that share network detail. So yeah, this is just
Yep,
for update, but yeah, thank you very much, Gautam.
no
I
problem.
got it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's clear for me now. Thank you. Yeah. Anup, you have any questions for that?
No, so just a follow up that right
Mm,
now I think the VLANs on both the sides we are expecting it to be the same, and we are going to just replicate it as part of the application. But in case of SVMDR, where in the future when you implement
Anup, we can't hear you. I think
oh, is
we hear
it?
you, but in a sense, it's not loud enough.
Am I am I audible now?
This is better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so in case of SVMDR, I think we will need to kind of, be able to pass different VLAN, because in case the async replication is implemented, there is no expectation of zero RPO. So the mount paths on site we can actually change, and they can be part of the lifts can be part of different network. So that way, I think this will help in a future design as well, if we are able to
Yeah,
pass.
and my anticipation was even if NetApp doesn't need it right now, another driver would, um, uh,
Yeah,
because you're literally setting up another thing that can do the exports, but you probably don't want to pass those things at the promotion time. You probably want to set it up right away as the share server replica is getting created and so on. So
yeah.
yeah, I think as far as that
Yeah,
goes, I think
the primary reason for this is that we are this is a zero replication, zero RPU replication, right? So you cannot expect the VLAN to be different, or the change in the mount path, because that disrupts,
makes
and
sense.
then you cannot get the zero RPU. In case it is an active passive replication, it will definitely be required.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's I think that's all I had from my side.
yeah. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Yes.
Thank you. Have a great day and see you on Thursday for continuing all of the other topics.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.